Hi, we're Richard and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust.
Because we talk so much about our love of coffee in our other videos, something we've been asked by quite a few people is, what do we do for coffee on the road? So, after being asked by a few people, what do we do for coffee on the road, we thought we'd put this little bit of a video together for you.
One of the things we're in absolute agreement of is that life is too short for poor coffee. So what we want to do is take you through the different ways that we make sure that we get quality coffee when we're on the road in Nelson the campervan.
And it saves us a little bit of money because coffee's quite expensive to buy from all the cafes on our travels.
Our little coffee obsession definitely started at home and probably really kick-started during the course of lockdown.
We'd always had an espresso machine, which we loved when there was just us two living at home. But then at lockdown, we had up to 6 of us living in the house, and we could be going through maybe 20 pods a day if we were all working, which one was really expensive, and two, we just had all these pods everywhere.
And one of the other things that concerned us in lockdown when we were locked in the house all the time was how much we were drinking. How does that fit with coffee? Well, we came up with a cunning little savings plan.
So, for every night that we didn't have a drink between any of the household, we would put £5 into a pot, knowing that I had my eye on a really expensive coffee machine. But it made it feel really exciting that this little pot was growing and I could afford this amazing baby blue Smeg coffee machine, and it worked. And my mum was ace. A couple of years later, she actually bought us the matching coffee grinder to go with it for my birthday.
Now, one of the things you have to realise is that we both drink our coffee black. So it's a really, really simple espresso machine that produces really good, simple black coffee. We don't have the faff of having to froth milk or do anything like that. And so it just fit our needs perfectly.
But what it did do is make us not appreciate having instant coffee in the van. So we then started looking for little bits of equipment that would give us lovely coffee when we're in the van.
So one of the biggest challenges for us when we're on the road is how do we get that fresh coffee experience that we love so much at home from our Smeg machine when we're actually away in the van. Firstly, to try and get the consistency of coffee that we love is we always bring exactly the same beans away with us. So we just use Lavazza, Rossa beans. We use those at home. We've tried all sorts of fancy incarnations of coffee beans, but the Italians do it really, really well, and it's just a good simple bean for grinding. At one point we used to bring ready ground beans with us, but we've been spoilt at home with our coffee grinder, so we want to try and get as fresh a coffee as we possibly can when we're in the van. When I was retiring from my job, my colleagues at work knew me really well and knew of my coffee habit and perhaps a little bit of my coffee snobbery. So one of the things that they bought me that I use every single day when we're in the van is the Snow Peaks coffee grinder. It's a tiny bit of kit, but it is just beautifully engineered, and it's just really, really simple. You just put the coffee beans in the top, you've got a hand grind mechanism for grinding the coffee, and it's all just collected in the bottom. The process of going through this every morning is just so lovely. It's just like really basic and it's really traditional, and the smell and the aroma that you get off the beans while you're doing it is just really mindful, and that sounds really twee, but it's a nice process to go through. And actually it's probably a better process to go through than just pressing the button on the machine at home, because it's pretty instant in that way, whereas when we're on the road, life's a little bit slower, it's a little bit simpler.
So of the 3 coffee making systems that we have in the van, this one is my favourite, the little filter that you saw me making earlier. This one's just one that Richard got with his gifts from his retirement package. It's a Snow Peak one, but there's all sorts out there. But I like it particularly because you can make it really quickly, just put the filter paper in, and I like really strong coffee, so I only make 1/3 of a mug, and you can just control how much water you put in until it looks the strength that you want. Richard likes a wetter coffee, so he'll fill the mug with it. The disadvantage is you can only make 1 cup of coffee with it at a time, and then you have to throw it away and get new coffee. But yeah, this is my favourite one. Dead quick, dead easy, dead clean. Just take the filter paper out, put it in the bin.
One of the quickest, easiest and possibly oldest methods of making coffee that we've used when we're in the van is with a good old cafetiere. So you don't really need anything apart from ground coffee. It's a matter of just putting it into the cafetiere. The benefits of it is it does make more than one cup. So when Jackie's asleep in her pit in the morning and I need a good old coffee fix, I do my grind, pop it in here and I get a good couple of cups of coffee out of it. One of the negatives that I've been told, and I'm not sure whether it's an urban myth or not, by my mother-in-law, is that cafetiere coffee, because the coffee's seeping in the water all the time, actually has a higher caffeine content. I'm not entirely sure about that, but it does give you the volume of coffee, it does give a really smooth taste, and it is possibly the easiest way of making coffee. One of the downsides of it is who gets to clean it out. It's an absolute pain in the backside to clear out. You've just got to swill it around. You've got a load of coffee grains that you've got to get rid of, and it's not the easiest to clean. But we love our cafetiere.
So on the mornings when we've really had a heavy night the night before, this little bad boy comes out, our espresso stovetop machine. We bought it when we were in Verona in Italy, but that's a whole other story about that day. And it makes the most amazing strong Italian coffee. It's that strong we don't actually use it very often. Dead easy to use. We just fill the bottom with water, put the ground coffee into the little filter bit, screw it up and let it go onto the stove. It scares the heebie-jeebies out of me when you can hear it squealing and rumbling as it pushes the water and the coffee through, but the coffee is amazing. That's it. That's Jackie and Richard's solution to coffee on the road in a camper van. Hope it gives you some nice ideas.
See you later.
Bye.